Bam. Okay, here we go today at the BAM BIZ TALK podcast. Today we have a very special guest, very special show. I'm here with Casandra Santillan of Santillan Barber and Beauty Studio.
Got it.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to a great conversation today because you are a small business owner.
Yes, sir.
You are a bootstrap, straight from the ground up, and making it happen.
Making it happen, putting in work.
Love it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Casandra. Like who is Casandra Santillan?
Casandra Santillan. Well, I'm a mom of 4 boys. They range from 25 to 9 years old.
Wow.
I know. And then I'm a wife. Been with my husband since we were in 8th grade.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He's my best friend.
That's awesome.
So, a wife and a mother.
You don't hear that too often anymore.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's been easy.
That's good.
Yep. And just opened my barbershop during COVID 2020.
You opened up during COVID, right?
During COVID 2020.
Like what month? What month did you open?
It was in July. Was it June or July? Jeez, I can't even.
So COVID was already rolling.
Yeah.
It was already going when you said, hey, I'm going to open up a business.
It was. And I was like, you know what? This is the time. I was like, I've got to do. If I'm going to do it, I need to just do it.
That's impressive. So tell us about that.
It was scary. It was really scary, to be honest with you, because people were scared to get haircuts. Mm-hmm. And then, but I just figured, well, shipments were not coming in when you would order stuff. Right. So I figured, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it going, get started on it. And then hopefully I'll have everything. And when they reopen us back up, So when I started, I was just ordering all of my equipment, waiting for it all to come in. Then started opening, and it was hard. Nobody wanted to come in and get haircuts.
Right.
Because, they didn't know exactly what to expect.
So at that point, was the government allowing people to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they were allowing. They'd reopened us back up, I believe, in March or so. I don't even remember anymore what months.
Right.
Because it was just hectic time.
Very, yeah.
And so, but yeah, they were letting us do the haircuts, but the masks were mandatory, which was another issue because some people didn't want to wear masks and stuff. So all of it, people weren't wanting to get haircuts. So I was having to rebuild my client base, and just the whole COVID, pandemic situation was just so.
It was hard on all businesses.
It really was.
And it shut down a lot of businesses.
It really did. It was slow times.
So how did you get clientele?
Well, I did it the old school way. I went door to door. And what I did was I thought, well, how am I going to be convenient? Who am I going to be convenient to? So I just went to my neighbors. And I walked around. I introduced myself. I told, let them know about my shop, handed out my cards, and just kind of worked it that way. And I started partnering with other individuals, other businesses, let's say, for instance, an oil field vendor. And I would say, hey, and I would try to support local. So I would say, take them to this restaurant, and once you're done there, bring them into my shop. I'll give you guys both a free haircut or a free service,
Okay.
For bringing them in, supporting me. I appreciate that. I just want to give back also, because some of those vendors, they had their own business. So they were a vendor for their own company that they were starting up. So I wanted to make sure that I was giving back and helping them as well for helping me with my business. So supporting local, all about supporting local over here. So
so that way, so if you get them to come in with a free haircut, so you're giving up 2 free haircuts.
2 free haircuts.
At the moment.
At the moment.
But one of them is already your client, so he'll come back as a paying customer later.
Yes.
And the new one you just picked up, well, now you have potential for them to come back.
Yes.
Right? So it's basically you're giving that service for free up front, but then you have continued transactions down the line.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, but you've built a relationship, which also builds more word of mouth.
For sure.
So
word of mouth. That's in your industry, that's a pretty powerful tool.
That is very powerful tool. It's the I can't think of the word, but it's the biggest form of gosh.
Like marketing or
No, not marketing, but like it's the biggest form of saying thank you to us.
gratitude?
You know, gratitude. It's the biggest form of gratitude because, you know, word of mouth, that builds you so much more than anything.
Right.
You know, because there's marketing through social media, right? Social media is you're just going to reach your people.
Right.
But word of mouth, you know, they're going to go tell their people. Their people are going to go tell their people. So word of mouth is everything.
Which end up being your people.
Which ended up being my people.
Right. They were already people. They just didn't know it yet.
Exactly. Then the people who weren't scared with COVID anymore, they start coming back to me also. So then it's just, you just grow that much more.
Okay.
But yes, the word of mouth is, you know, without your people, you're nothing. You know, I was talking to you about that earlier.
Without
you're nothing.
your people, you're nothing without your
You're
people.
nothing without your people.
That's
You're
true.
nothing at all without your people. They become, the moment they would sit in my chair, I kind of have this thing where I'm going to look at whoever's in my chair as a family member. How do I want my family member to be treated if it was them going somewhere to get a service?
Right.
So that's how I look at every individual who sits in my chair is as a family member. You're going to be like my cousin or my nephew or, you know, I don't know. I just look at them in that way and I want to treat them like their family. So as soon as they walk in the door, I automatically kind of, you know, joke and all of that, build that relationship that they've already got a built relationship with me the moment they come in.
So they feel like they're walking into a comfortable place. It's like a family environment. And for sure, then they get a fresh cut, and you know they're going to tell all the friends.
They're feeling good.
Hey, I got this great fresh cut, and so you're doubling down, because it's not only a good haircut, right? Good quality haircut, but it's also like that feeling that you know what? Go check out my girl Casandra, man. She'll help you out.
Yeah, then I'm there to hype them. I'm their hype woman too. I'm like, ooh, look at you.
Building them up, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a good lesson, right? For no matter what industry, what kind of business you're in, it's all about that customer experience.
Yes, you know, because you want to make sure that you're treating them how you want to be treated also.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure. So when you walk into a salon or somewhere else, right? How do you feel when you're there? Right.
Exactly. How am I feeling? Are you making me comfortable? Is it awkward? You know, I don't want that for my people. Right.
What is that quote? Maya Angelou or something. She says, or Oprah. I can't remember, but it's you'll remember people how they made you feel, not so much the words.
Exactly.
Something like that. I'm chopping it up. I'm sorry about that, but
no, yeah.
That's the essence of what you're saying, right?
Yes.
You're leaving with. Your customers are leaving with a good feeling and a good experience.
Yes, right? Exactly.
So no matter what kind of business you own, right?
It applies.
It applies. It could be a small little corner store retail shop where people just come in to grab a stick of gum or something. Well, if you're there introducing, hey, you know, friendly, you know, hey, how you doing today? Have a good day. They're going to leave out of there. I want to come back for another stick of gum. You know?
Yeah. We're joking with them. You know, I kind of like to pick on them sometimes too. You know, like, oh, you know, you needing that stick of gum, huh? I like to play with them a lot too. So.
Oh yeah, you're long overdue for a cut. Yeah, come on. Sit down right now.
Dang, boy, you've been walking around like that for how long now? Why though?
You've been getting some weird stares, haven't you?
Exactly.
So, in the beauty and barber world, like, how did you get into it? Like, you know, talk to us about that.
Okay, so I was raised by my grandmother, and she'd gotten cancer really young. And so I used to go with her to her chemo and so forth. And she would lose her hair. So I'd hurry up and try to, you know, wipe, you know, her hair so she wouldn't see it when it'd be falling out or whatever. And she would have me do her makeup and her hair for her. And I tried to make her feel real, real good. And so she was actually in cosmetology also, which I didn't even know until later. But her doing her hair, doing her makeup, how it would make her feel. Or when she'd get her wigs in, she'd have me, you know, try to fix them for her and stuff. So just seeing how good it made her feel when her hair would grow back and she'd go get her hair done or her having me do it for her, that's what gave me the passion to want to go into the beauty industry was my grandma.
And to treat each of your clients like family.
exactly where I got that also, because if she had a bad experience, she'd be so excited, because, she had her go-to person for the most part, but, sometimes if they try someone else or something, but, they wouldn't know what she'd gone through.
Right.
You don't never know what people are going through. And sometimes it means so much more than what you even think, it could mean to somebody getting their hair or makeup done. And so she was my inspiration. And she's also, what makes me think of, giving back to the community. It will make me think of her because, I like to give back to the, like Midland Fairhavens, for instance, or just different organizations. And you can kind of see like, wow, you wouldn't have thought, certain situations or certain people go through certain stuff in life, but what you give them. So if I give free services or free, back to school cuts or something, usually I try to aim it toward an organization or towards not just to the public. I want to make sure that I'm aiming it to giving back for a cause.
Right. Right, because it's given back to the community.
Yeah.
A very specific set, because that organization has already identified who needs those services.
Exactly. They need those services.
Right.
And so...
Not somebody who's like, hey, I could use a free haircut today.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard you. No.
Wait, y'all are giving free back school haircuts? We are, but only to these ones. But yes, it was my grandma. She really inspired me into giving back also and treating everybody like where we were discussing, you don't never know what people are going through. You want to make sure when they come in, that service is fun and they're happy.
Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Right.
You've built that relationship with them.
It's relationship building. You got good vibes in there, and your studio is a little bit different from most other barbers studios, right? You have a wholesome vibe in there,
Yes.
but it's fun. It's relaxing, and you feel like you're invited to Tia's house. Right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Whenever they come in, sometimes if I'm not busy, you'll even see me. Well, when I'm finishing up with my clients, you'll see me sometimes out there kind of flying the kids around the shop or tickling them or, playing hide and seek, sometimes popping out, scaring them. It is kind of, just like you're just family coming into this business. And it is a wholesome family environment that I take pride in. Mm-hmm. So, and I tell my people, customer service and professionalism, that's everything to me because the people who come into this establishment are everything to me. And my go-to saying, without them, we're nothing. Mm. So
you repeat that.
I do.
Yeah.
Because I stand by it.
It's something you're embedding into your people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they see that as well. Mm-hmm. So.
Because you want them, because they are a representation of your business, and your business is a representation of you. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And that right there means everything to me. And taking that back to my grandmother, when I was younger, she used to always talk to me about, your reputation. You always have to make sure that, you're a good person, your reputation, that's everything. That's how people are going to know you, is your reputation. And so that is big to me with my people also, make sure that you're talking to clients right, you're treating them right, they're happy. And
how would you want to be treated?
How would you want to be treated? Exactly.
Right. It always goes back to that golden rule, right?
Yes, that golden rule. It really is true.
So that was your inspiration, your grandmother, which, by the way, that's an awesome story.
Thank you.
That you were able to, do that for your grandmother, and then that led into what you're passionate about in life. Mm-hmm. So did you go to barber school, or what's your training look like?
I did. Actually, I went to dental school for dental assisting. I have a weak stomach. I didn't realize so much. But then went to cosmetology, and I always did both men and women's hair. Mm-hmm. And I always did like all of it, kind of, the makeup, the waxing, the hair cutting. And then, I have boys. I have two boys at the time, my husband. And so, I started aiming it more towards, wanting to sharpen my skills with the men's cuts and the beard work and all of that stuff. And then started into a barbershop. And then I was like, wow, this is a whole nother world than being in a hair salon cutting men's hair. It's two different. I thought I was the stuff. Then I went into this barber shop and I got schooled real quick. And then I did go to barber school and then started working in more barber. I think I worked in like another shop after that and then decided it was time
to do your own thing.
To do my own thing.
Okay. So when you do your own thing, it's in the middle of COVID, right? And were you were still at another barbershop?
No, because COVID shut us down. So COVID has shut us down. So then I went to I had an owner call me, and she had asked me to help her with her shop a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I'm in the process of looking at my own places, but I'll go for a little bit. So I was in a temp shop because they'd reopened us for a little while, in a temp shop. Then I found my location. It was like meant to be. And I thought, wow, okay, it's time. So then that's whenever I started over here at my location and started ordering all my equipment. And that was hard because the shipments, like I said, weren't coming in. Then trying to build a client base by going to all of the different establishments. And then I started talking to some of my clients, So I talked to one of my clients and I said, hey, do you guys mind, if I gift you all of this, Santian Barber and Beauty Studio products? That was one of the ways I helped myself grow because it was just me at my shop. I had no team working with me. It was just myself.
You were wearing all the hats.
I was wearing all the hats. And at the time, I was working 7 days a week and I would work late. I'd go in early in the morning and then I would stay there until like midnight. And on top of that, the kids weren't in school. You had to homeschool the kids too. Man. So it was just all kinds of, being a mother, being a wife, being a business owner, and having to put in the work, put in the hours to make sure that this business is going to be successful because I'm going to show my children that you have to put in work. If you want to be successful, you have to put in that work to be successful.
Nothing worth it comes easy.
Nothing comes easy, yes, if it's worth it. And then you're going to have obstacles in life. COVID was a huge one. Yeah. Huge one. Them not being in school was a huge one. Trying to, sit here and handle it all. Trying to rebuild a client base, all of it. Yeah. It was huge. But I wanted to show them that if you put in the work, it's possible. You have to put in the work, So, so what I started doing too, besides going and talking to all of these businesses in my surrounding area and getting my name out there with them was having marketing material. Right. And then going to my clients that are now like family to me, close friends. Hey, do you mind if I gift you guys? Never asking them, for anything other than just, if I wanted to, they're going to help me, but I wanted to gift them. I didn't want it to be an inconvenience, like I'm selling anything to them, or I didn't want them to feel obligated or just, do you mind? Right. Do you mind me gifting you all of these products to take to your business, to your people? Something as little as that. Right. And that helped me grow also because, I had all of these products that they actually wanted.
Right. It's stuff they could use, right?
They could use, yes, and that they liked. And so they were amazing. And yes, we'll take all of your free stuff, all your free gifts, and we'll take them to my firm or my office or, to the wherever, hospital. I wanted to reach as many as I could. Right. So.
And it worked.
It did. I grew fast. I grew really fast. I picked that client base back up pretty quick. And then you're booked solid out now. I do. I stay booked solid. Usually they'll have to book a week or two in advance. Sometimes though, I'll have people booking a month in advance or months in advance. Wow. Out for me.
I can imagine like you have some regulars that have their regular times, like every other week or something like that. They come in and it's already in there.
That is one of the things that I try to tell people is so important is pre-booking your clients. You will have your schedule staying full if you're in this industry if you pre-book your clients because they're already in there, they're already set, and they're dependable. So
right, because they need that cut.
They need that cut. So so it keeps your schedule consistent.
Consistency.
Yes.
It's huge.
Very huge.
Right.
I
Yeah.
always talk about reliable income versus unreliable income. Or,
Okay.
because-
Break that down.
okay, what I mean by that is if you're an artist and you're dependent on a shop that has a lot of walk-ins, right? Then that's irreliable income. Why? Because sometimes those shops are going to be slow. So you're not going to have a consistent, revenue. But if you have your schedule and if it stays constant and it's consistently booked and you're staying on top of it and you have a wait list, okay, well, it's okay. Stuff happens. Sometimes someone's going to have to reschedule or cancel. But guess what? I have somebody who's needing in. I could fill them into that spot. Well, you already know how much revenue for that week, for that month, etc. that you're going to have.
Yeah. Versus
irreliable income where you're dependent. You want to go into work whenever you want to go into work. You want to just go and see if you can make. I'm going to stay there until I make $200 or $300, and then I'm going to leave, and then that's just it. I'm good for the day, but then it's slow, so you didn't make that $200 or $300 or whatever you were counting on.
Right.
So you pre-book those clients, and if you start working by a work schedule, not just whenever I feel like going in.
Right.
Then you have consistent income.
So there's the dichotomy of people want to be a business owner. Why? So I can do what I want. So I have my own time, right? But you don't have your own time if you're trying to make your business successful.
And that's where it's hard, because sometimes you don't feel like going to work.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to just make plans to go have lunch with your friends or shop. But that's where the determination, you have to stay focused. You have to have this tunnel vision and you have to say, no, I'm my own business. So I'm going to represent myself as such, my own business. I'm going to work these hours. I'm going to have off from these times, these days, and that's it. But if you don't, and if you get sidetracked and you avert from your goal, then it's easy for you to fail.
Yeah.
So, but that is hard as your own business owner in this industry. And that's why you have to stay on top of it.
So, you learned this through experience, just going through it, just seeing, observing, or?
It's kind of funny because I always thought it was common sense.
That's awesome.
But I guess, being younger, I wasn't always a barber. I wasn't always, a hairstylist or makeup artist or any of this. But, just working, you just work and you have a schedule. So you have to work. But also, I will say coming out of school, working in places like, let's say, a JCPenney's or an Ulta or a retail company, Sports Clips or whatever, they kind of embed that in you. You have to market. If you're slow, well, you have the whole store. So I used to work in the mall, like the shops that I worked in were in the mall. Well, I saw the mall as my whole playground. Like, what? I have the whole mall? So when other people would kind of get like, I don't want to go market. I don't want to go talk to people,
right.
But I would be like, hey guys, we're having a special this month, 30% off of whatever, or you get a free this or a free that with a free wax with your haircut, etc. So sales just came easily to me. So, but I thought, wow, I get to make all of these people my clients. You know what I mean? Right. So, but in those type of, places, when you start off, out of school, they'll kind of embed that in you. We're slow, go over the intercom, let people know that you have openings. Maybe somebody's wanting a haircut. They don't know that we have openings. They don't want to wait or...
Right.
So that did kind of teach me also. They do let us tell us, you've got to market.
Yeah.
If you want to stay busy, you got to market.
Yeah.
So.
And so what you're saying there, what we say here a lot at BAM is you got to get out the building.
Yes.
Right. And so what you're saying, you were in your shop, you had to get out the shop, and the whole mall was your world. There's all those customers out there. Some of them need a haircut.
Yes. I thought it was I thought that's what they were. Then they said, no, Casandra, you got to just stay in the store. And I was like, why are you isolating me for? Yeah. So, but now I will still do that. I'll take, the gifts, talking about the gifts and the gift packages. Yeah. Well, when I was restarting back up for a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, let me go to my people, because I built those relationships at Oakley, at Sephora, at Mac. And hey guys, can you put these flyers in their shopping bags for me? And they would, you know, and so I would go to, and it was out of, you know, I'm over here on Big Spring Street, over here in the plaza by Rock and Rodeo, you know, but I got out of the shop and I went, where can I hit the most spots?
Yeah.
Or where can I, you know, when I'm trying to rebuild.
Right.
So what connections do I have? What are my people? Okay, thank you guys. You know, and
yeah.
So
yeah, because it's you're making it personable.
Exactly.
Right. It's like, I know there's a term for it, but it's like personable marketing, right?
Yes. I mean, they became friends to me all those years that I was working, you know, in the mall. And so we built that relationship. And now it's like, you know, you go to another place and people see each other as competition. And it's not that. You're not competition. You're actually stronger because you get to have that much more where you get to cross-reference with one another.
Yes.
You know, so there's no competition. It's just like building each other up, you know, and I love that.
So creating those partnerships that to leverage a partnership to where it's mutually beneficial.
Exactly. There's not nobody taking from one. It's all just mutually beneficial.
And that's a really important lesson, you know, for entrepreneurs to be there for your so-called competition, right? Yeah, of course, there's competition. We're all out here competing. It's a game, right? And who get the most chips, right? But at the same time, there's plenty of chips out there for everybody, right? Like we had a conversation with the ex-mayor, Jerry Morales, about his business. And during COVID, I can't remember the exact, but I think he had ran out of chips or his competitor had run out of chips. And they called each other and said, hey, we don't have any more chips. Shipments, like, because things weren't getting shipped.
Exactly.
Right? So we need chips. And Jerry was more than happy to provide chips to his so-called competition.
Exactly.
Right? Because if businesses started to fail, you know, because, you know, they didn't have the product to get out, you know, well, that's not good for you either. Right? Because then people are going to be like, oh, another one failed. Well, I'm going to, you know, start cooking at home. You know, like, I like this cooking at home. I'm not going to go out to restaurants anymore. You know, there's just a whole line of it's a slippery slope.
Yes.
Right. But you support your people in your industry, you create partnerships, and we all grow. Right?
Yeah. I've never had the mindset of competition. Like, I know people say that, you know, okay, we are all competitors. I just have never seen it. I don't ever see competition at all. The only competition I ever consider is myself, is my own competition. Okay, like, how am I going to make myself grow? How am I going to? But I've never seen anybody else ever as a competition or other, you know, I see them as a team.
Right.
I don't know. I just see them as.
Okay.
I've never looked at anybody as, but I know that's what we're supposed to. You know, we're supposed to see it.
Right.
You're supposed to, but it's just not in my vocabulary. For myself, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's proven you're winning. You know?
Yeah,
it's working.
Showing support to them all, you know.
Yeah.
I want for all of us, because there is so many people. It's like, why do they say competition? There is so many people. I can't have them all, you know. I mean, you know, or I'm you know, we all have our own styles. We have our own, you know, type of client base and or whatever, you know.
Right.
So.
Right. Everybody's unique.
Everybody is unique. Exactly.
And it's, if you can express that uniqueness in yourself, right, to your customers, right, then you're right. You differentiate yourself so much that you don't have competition.
I guess that's why I see it like that. Yeah, I just see it like, no, that's my team. That's my neighbor. That's my brother's shop, my sister's shop. That's my, you know, there's not any competition. It's just.
Yeah. So, which reminds me, earlier when we were talking, you had said, that when you're booked and somebody calls you for, you know, that you're trying to get on your list and you're like, I can't see you for a while, that you refer out automatically.
I automatically do.
And not only do you refer, but you actually book their appointment for them.
Oh, well, I will book them for my team members, but I do let them know, like, hey, this is their page you can go on, or this is their booking that you can go to, I try to match them to a personality, or I don't know. So, okay, well, I do know that one. So I do get to try to know, you know, the other artists that are out there, so I can kind of get their style, get their personality, and kind of match them to the clients that I can't get, or.
You're like a beauty and barber matchmaker.
I guess. I'm so busy, so sometimes I just can't. I'm like, I can't, guys. I'm so sorry, but this one can. This one probably can.
Yeah, because I mean, then if you say no, I can't do it, and that's it, then they're kind of just looking around like, well, who do I go to? And they might get somebody that you wouldn't recommend, right?
Exactly. That's not their fit.
And they get a bad cut. It's a bad experience.
That's the part I get scared of, the bad experience.
Because they connected to you because they called you and you just shut them down, right? But if you know who you're referring to, then they're going to have a good experience as well.
Exactly. So I try to refer them to, I try to meet more artists. I'm so busy that it's hard, but I try to meet the artists, try to get their personalities, try to see their styles. I'm just too busy usually, so.
Yeah, well, when you're working 7 days a week.
Good God, I cut down on that 7 days a week now.
Self-care.
I needed it. It was my kids, I try to make sure that I'm balancing it all. And that can be a struggle, with being a mom and a wife. And then, you've got your client base, and then you have your, as a business owner, it's not only just that, you've also got, your team who need you sometimes. Yeah. So it's like you're juggling all of it.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make sure that it's evenly balanced and, that everybody has that part of you, but you're stretched every way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And to maintain you, right?
Exactly.
There's still you there that you got to take care of.
Exactly.
Because if you don't take care of you, you can't be there for everybody else.
Yes.
Right.
And I feel like women, we typically kind of struggle with that because we do have so many hats.
Right.
So it is kind of like we do put ourselves last. So when do I make time for, myself?
Right.
In that can be a struggle, especially when you run a business and you run a team and a client base or customer base or whatever else.
Right. Because how we refer to your business here is that, that's your baby.
Exactly.
Right? So you can't neglect your baby. You wouldn't neglect your human baby,
exactly.
Right? So why would you neglect your baby,
Exactly.
So you're right. You're pulled from everywhere, because there is a different perspective that as a woman, dealing with things than you have whereas a man, it's, hey, we're free.
Exactly. The woman handles it. She's got it,
Yeah.
It's how usually.
So, for you to be a successful business owner, as a mother of four, right? That's pretty amazing. And I still can't. You started in the middle of COVID, like in the hardcore COVID.
I know. I think somebody said, I don't know if you're crazy or if you're probably, just courageous.
Probably a little bit. I think there's some crazy in there.
Yeah, but I had this guy. Yeah, I had this one client though, and he said, I'm seeing two things happening with all of this stuff going on. With all the COVID stuff going on. He's like, it's either making us lazy and feel defeated, or it's empowering us and it's making us more motivated. And so I was like, I want to be the motivated.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be motivated.
Yeah.
And I have, like you said, my 4 boys. And I remember I told my husband, I'm so scared. What if I fail? And he kind of looked at me and, like, he did a chuckle, like, and he said, you would never let that happen. Like, this is you. When you would never let that happen. You're going to do whatever you have to do to make sure that you succeed.
Yeah.
And just his faith in me. And
goes a long ways.
Yes, because he's like, he wasn't scared. He wasn't saying, no, don't do this. This is a bad time right now. There was none of that. It was just complete, like, yeah, right, you. So that said a lot to me. And I was like, wow, and I have these boys, and I want for them to see, like, wow, my mom, she started her business when all these odds were against her.
Yeah.
And she's killing it. I wanted for them to have that pride.
Right.
I wanted to make them proud more than anything. So
to see that it can be done.
Exactly.
Firsthand.
Exactly. And then within months, not only did I grow my business, but we also got nominated and won Best of Basin. Awesome. And so thank you. I got to the kids like that. I got to, my boys got to.
They're like, what? You just started and you already won awards, right? And there's shops out there with tons of artists and employees, and like there's a lot of shops out there that are big shops.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, and you were just one person.
It was just
at
me.
This time.
It was just me for a lot of it. Like, I mean, even now it's been, it's just me and one other artist. I have 4 chairs still open, but my shop, I'm so busy. I don't market it as a walk-in shop. And like I said, a lot of artists, they are dependent on walk-in shops. You know, they need those walk-ins.
Right.
But I do like it to be more VIP for my clients. I don't want them to have to sit around waiting. I want for them to just come in. I like for them to just sit down, get their service done, and we spoil them. So, you know, it's like, you know, you feel like you're getting catered to, you know, you're getting your hair cut and it's good conversations.
Yeah.
The girl that I have, she's got an awesome, super upbeat personality. She's a perfect reflection of myself and my business. Awesome. I adore her. So, yeah, just trying to fill those chairs with like-minded people, you know, and who've got, you know, an established client base. And if they do need, if I fill those chairs, I like it being more appointment based. I don't mind walk-in, but.
Right. Because you already know what's coming up. Right. And then it's set, you know, so I'm sure you give, depending on the service that you're going to get, that you have the appointment for, you give the allotted amount of time.
Exactly.
Plus a little cushion.
Exactly.
Right before you have the next one booked.
They don't feel like they're just being rushed. They don't feel like it's just like a quick service. Like, okay, I just need to get you in. I need to get you out. Like, I need the next person.
Right.
I don't want that.
It's not an assembly line.
Exactly. I want them to feel like, okay, like this is my time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's
all about me right now.
It could always take care of me.
Yeah.
It's almost you make me want to grow hair.
See, there you go. You know what? We do shaves. Don't forget, we do shaves. We do a hot towel shave, do a facial.
I might have to.
Yep. I'm gonna send you my link when we're done.
Right.
Go on and book with us. Yes, cool. Sir.
So you were talking about wearing all the hats earlier as a business owner.
Yes.
You know, so talk about, you know, your processes in your business of how you keep it organized, I guess, top to bottom. Like how do you manage that?
Oh, wow. So time management, I try. I really, really try. Sometimes I am all about my client base, so I do kind of let that go over into my time, but I do try to manage my time. So I have a set schedule. I try to stay by that set schedule as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for my bookkeeping for the shop, it's super clean. I mean, my shop is really spotless, and so I like to make sure that it stays sanitary and disinfected. And
yeah,
I don't know. So I mean, so we set time, and throughout the day too, in between clients, we're constantly, you know, with that, you know, with the shop, and then the bookkeeping end of it, super, super organized with all of that. I have my set days, my set times. I have my files set perfectly. I mean, all I have to do is just pull out each file for whatever I'm needing to put away, or at the end of the year, or whatever it may be. I make sure that I stay on top of all of that.
Like, so when you say set times, like there's a certain type of the week where you organize it all?
Yes. So Sundays and Mondays, I like to be closed, and I like to make sure that Sundays and Mondays, whatever bookkeeping I need to do, I already am able to just set that aside for Sunday or a Monday, typically Mondays, because my family's, you know, at school or at work.
Right.
And I don't like to cut into their time. Mm-hmm. I like to make sure that when I'm off, I'm with them. It's fun. You know, so constantly staying busy at work. And then as soon as I'm home with the kids, it's like, all right, let's go skating. Let's go bike ride, skateboard, whatever it may be. But, you know, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's y'all. Like, it's all about you guys.
Right.
And then, you know, Sundays we do family Sundays. Mondays I do like dinner. I cook and all that stuff for so all 4 of the boys usually try to have my dad and my siblings and husband. So everything has a time. I try to make sure I have it all scheduled and set for family and then for the shop.
And is that something you've always done?
I'm very, very, very family oriented. Yes.
I'm talking about the scheduling.
The scheduling, yes. Yeah. Well, okay, yes and no, because I don't like to plan stuff. But for like, I'm kind of more of like, like, what are we doing this weekend? I don't know anything weekend yet. Like, and then on the weekend, be like, hey, let's go do this. You know,
right.
I mean, I will plan, but
yeah.
So I'm a yes and a no on that part, Angel.
Well, there has to be some spontaneity.
Yeah, I am spontaneous too.
Sure. Well, I was asking that is because I'm very spontaneous. Like I'm a free floating hippie. I'm a leaf blown in the wind.
See?
Right? And I've always been like that. That's just been my nature. That's my spirit, you know. So in operating a business, it's hard for someone like me.
Okay.
Right? To stay disciplined. But before I started, about 6 years before I started BAM, I had started on a self-discipline track. Right?
Okay.
Like I heard a speech by Admiral McRaven. He said, if you want to change the world, start by changing your bed. Right? I was like, okay. And I never made my bed. Never did I ever make my bed. You know, I used to argue with my mom. You know, she was telling me to make my bed. I'm like, why? You know, I'm just going to come back, and it's going to get all messed up tonight. Like, I don't see the point in making up my bed, you know. And so I carried that forever. I just never made up my bed. Well, when I started to make my bed, right, that actually put a shift into how I view myself, right? So I haven't missed making up my bed since then, you know, so 6, 7, 8 years.
Jeez,
right?
Look at you.
And in that little anchor, it's an anchor, right? So every morning I make up my bed and then I start my process, start my day. And so it's escalated to where now my schedule is like a Tetris. I got blocks. I even have a block in there for sleep.
Wow.
I even schedule my sleep. Don't always adhere to it, but it's there and I try to shoot for it, right? You know, my morning routine's in there, right? When I leave the house to come to work, that's the travel time. It's in there. I get to the office, well, I have my workflow. As soon as I get to the office, I start working, right? And so it's very consistent. I have my gaps, so when I could have meetings with clients, I'm only going to have meetings with clients at certain times. You know, before I got to this point, it would just be whenever we could fit them in. You know, I have an hour here. Let me squeeze you in there, right? But then
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work because we had an appointment before that we're trying to wrap up because we have somebody waiting in the lobby, you know, and then they end up waiting for 15, 20 minutes. That's not a good look. You know,
exactly.
That's not good. You know, that's not customer service. It's not taking care. So switch that up a little bit to where, okay, now there's a 30-minute buffer. So if one meeting goes long, we'll still be okay. Right? For when the next one comes in. And so I feel much more, there's less anxiety because I know what's there, right? I'm making what are my 3 top priorities for the week, what I have to get done, and each of that, what are my 3 priorities for every day that I got to get done.
Exactly.
Right? And I make my list. I'm making lists. You know, now I used to make lists, but I wouldn't like adhere to them, right? I just, I'll make this, okay, this is what I got to do. But now it's like, and I can go through a whole day and knock out all kinds of work. Whereas before, I would be stressed out and just.
Was that hard for you to change?
It's a process.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't overnight. And as sticking to the process, I can't say it's hard, right? Because I enjoy the benefits of when I stick to it, right? So the difficulty is in just, I guess, keeping that consistency. But I wouldn't say it was hard. I think it's a long journey, right? And I'm still working on it, you know. But I think I've been able to figure out what works for me.
So a schedule when you need to schedule and spontaneous when you can be spontaneous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even scheduling in spontaneity.
Like, I'm even at that point now. Even at that point now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And then what you're talking about earlier is you know, when you're with your family, you're with your family.
That's it.
Right.
I used to keep my phone on me because, like I said, my clients would come like, my family also, or, so I want to make sure that I'm available all the time. But I was neglecting my family in doing so. So I thought, no, when I'm off, I'm off. But you know what I learned from that is my clients were fine with that. They understood she's off. And I would always tell them, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I promise you. But I will return y'all's calls as soon as I am back on.
Right.
When I come back on this day at this time, I'll start answering you guys back. Or if I do see your message and I randomly just put you in, just know I got it, but I'll respond to you on this day or that day.
100%, because you need that time off. You need that recovery.
Exactly.
So you can be better at your job when you're there.
I think for me, what it was is that I'm just such a workaholic type person, but I'm family oriented, so I would think at times, I could just balance all of it.
Yeah.
But no, then you come to realize, no, I'm neglecting something. I have to make sure I'm putting this time in. Something gives. So the work phone, it stays, off. On my days off, it stays off, or it just stays on silent. And I just have my personal phone with me, and it's just all about family.
Right.
During that time.
Right. Yeah. I remember a time when I was first figuring all this out. Well, I would pack up my laptop. I'd pack up my hard drive, everything I needed, and I'd take it home with me. Right. And I'm like, okay, I get home, I'll cook dinner, me and my daughter, and then I'll work in the evening. And I would do that. I was thinking, I have so much, so I got to get a lot done. Right. But really, I'm not getting a lot done in the evening, because it's hard to focus because I've been focusing all day long, and then plus it gives me anxiety, right? Because now I'm trying to do something that, I'm at home and, things are going on and I'm trying to work. So now I leave it here at work. When I leave from work, it stays at work.
Good.
And I'm with my family, with my daughter. I'm recovery.
Exactly.
Right? It's a mental health thing for real, right?
It really is.
You need that time to be in yourself.
Yes, and then too, I know for myself, since I'm always on a schedule, right? So then I notice that I'm always in a rush, because I'm on a time crunch. Okay, well, I've got to get the kids to school. I got to get this. Then I got to hurry up and I got to get to the shop. And then I got to go pick my kids up from school. And then I got to get back to the shop and, blah, blah, blah. So it's like boom, 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 boom. And then you're just always so fast paced. And then it's hard for you to reset, slow down, take that breath, because it's just, you're just so nonstop handling it all.
So I don't know if maybe you do this, but at times you said take that breath, right? So it's like I see it as like those snow globes you shake and it has to settle, right? Like that's our minds. Like when you're running around, you have to do this, you have to do that. You just got everything to do.
Yeah.
You have to let that snow globe settle, right? And then it's easier to focus, because it's like multitasking, right? We all think we're good multitaskers, but we're not.
You burn the tortillas if you're trying to do, cook and clean. So, stop. Just flip the tortillas. Yeah.
Because nobody wants burnt tortillas.
Nobody wants burnt tortillas. Yes.
Except my abuela. She likes the burnt.
Does she?
Yeah, it's weird.
You know what? My dad does too.
There's some old schools who really, really dig it.
They do, especially those homemade tortillas, and then the fresh butter on them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Right. Give me the crispy homemade tortillas.
Yes.
Crispy ones making you get hungry now.
Now I'm hungry.
Well, you know why I thought about that as a metaphor is because my husband, I'm one of those people he's like, you're so ADHD, or you've got to be doing everything. Just do one thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how come you're going to end up burning the tortillas. So that's why I said that, because he would joke and he would be like, you got to stop trying to do everything and just flip the tortillas.
Just flip them.
Yeah. They're going to burn. You're going to burn them.
It's got to focus in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to it, so the chaos. So it's like,
Right.
I could do the dishes too, or, no, just do the tortillas.
Just tortillas right now.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting you say that. Dishes. When I was working from home, right? Oh, look, there's some dishes.
Yes.
Let me go clean the dishes. Oh, I haven't vacuumed in 2 days.
Yeah, it's time. I see dust there. Let me dust that spot right there, because there's just so much for us to do, right? We don't know how to shut it off. We just
got to keep going, But that's why having a schedule
helps.
and it helps a lot, and knowing that you need that separation, So I guess that's a good lesson for entrepreneurs that are listening to this right now. It's like you can't go 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. I mean, you can do it for a little while, but you're gonna get burnt out.
Or your body's going to stop you.
Your body will tell you.
Your body's going to tell you. It's going to be like, whoa, it's time for you to calm it down.
Mm-hmm. And the beauty of that is that when you do calm it down, when you do structure your days and your time, you have the good time management. Well, you're now you have that built-in kind of separation, the recovery. So now you're more refreshed. You get more done. Right, that's the opposite of it, because when your brain's not there, you can't make the right decision. It's like you're making decisions in the dark. Like, okay, this worked last time, so I'm just gonna do that, see if it works again. But you don't have the context because you're not looking close enough. Because you're not focused.
Yes,
that could be a mistake. You could be making a mistake that could have been avoided.
Exactly, and it was just something as simple as just taking a moment or slow down.
So I think we've learned some pretty good things for entrepreneurs here, right? So that's one right there. Slow down, right? That's take care of yourself. Have some structure. Take your time off, right? Self recovery. Another one is your people, right?
Yes.
Say it again.
Without your people, you're nothing.
Without your people, you're nothing.
You're nothing. They make you like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. So
right, and then because of that, how you get there is the customer. It's their experience there that you're giving them.
Exactly, you have to make sure and you maintain that. It's not like, oh, okay, it's your first time here, let me be nice to you. No, you have to, with that, it's be you. You know what I mean? Don't try to be anything else. Just be you.
Yeah, you're
gonna have your people that are meant for you, and so. And that, I guess, that's why it comes so easy to me with my people, because I'm just me, you know, with them. It's not really like it's
you're not putting on a show.
Yeah. And it's not really like it's just like customer service. It's just, that's how I am in general. Like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to joke and I'm going to tickle the kids and I'm going to, like, that's just my personality. Or, I'm going to give you mess, like, boy, oh my gosh, or, I'm going to sit here and we're going to talk about life together and, I'm going to, but yeah, just that, I think that's another one. It's just be yourself.
Yeah. Be yourself. Be you, be authentic.
Be authentic and treat them how you want to be treated. And
your people will, it's like, it's like the law of attraction thing.
Exactly. Right? That's true. Because, I didn't even realize. So I had a client and somebody was talking about something, right, in the shop. And I had a client walk in and they said, what are you guys talking about? Are y'all being negative? Because Cass has an unspoken rule and it's no bad vibes. Like, there's no bad vibes in the shop. And I didn't even realize that. So then all the other people, they were like, yeah, that's true. There's no bad vibes. One time my dog something and she's like, whoa, you're killing my vibe here. But he was like, my dog attacked somebody and they called me and I was worried. And she's like, whoa, like, calm down. You're killing my vibe. And I was like, but yeah, it's it is a law of attraction, and then they come in and then they're laughing. Right. They start joking. They can be going through something and then they're happy, know. So speaking on that.
Because it's a safe space, right?
Yeah. We have the TV on, funny shows, and so when they come in, they can be feeling a certain way too. And they'll just be kind of laughing, at Fell Army or something,
Right.
So
I'm sure you've heard this before, right? Like, they come in, they're probably having a bad day, a bad week, bad month, whatever. And, I just got to get my hair cut. And they come in, they look a little down, but by the time they leave,
they feel great.
Yeah.
They feel great. Yeah. And that's what I want for them all, just to feel great,
So that's creating a unique customer experience, the customer journey, right? And that's I think that's something that all business owners really should focus on, right?
Staying positive.
Yeah, that good vibes, deliver good service, deliver what you promise, and have that good experience to where when that customer walks out the door, they just had one of the most amazing experiences where, one, they're going to come back, right? Two, they're going to tell other people about your services.
Exactly. You got to go check out this place. You've got to. How often do you hear that?
Right.
About so many different businesses within our community,
Right. Like you've heard someone, and you probably yourself, I know I have, like, I went to this one, say a restaurant. I went to this restaurant and the food was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good, but I mean, the service was just, I don't know if I'm going back. Well, it's a restaurant. The food was great, but you weren't serviced, properly. And even though the actual product was good, the service made you feel like you're not wanted or you weren't supposed to be there or whatever. So even no matter how good the food is, you didn't feel like you had a good experience.
Left a bad taste in your mouth.
And that is more powerful than the good taste in your mouth that you had there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Because you're going to remember the bad more than you do the good.
Yes.
People will complain before they sit here and say, you know what? You were awesome. Your service was amazing. Thank you so much. But they won't stop to say that, but they will stop and say, hey, can I talk to your manager? So,
Right. It's human psychology.
It is. It's crazy.
Right. To whereas you go to another restaurant and the food's all right, but the customer service is amazing.
Exactly.
Right. Like you're going to go back there because it's a good experience.
Exactly. Me and my girl, we were talking about that, mindset, mind over matter, that's super huge. So, the way we look at stuff, let's say for instance, at my shop, I would say, okay, you can complain about having dishes, but guess what? You have dishes to wash. You can complain about having laundry, but you've got clothes that made the laundry to wash, so there's always a positive in every negative that you look at. You just always have to look at everything with a positive mindset.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's human nature to think negative sometimes, but you got to flip it.
Yeah. It's finding the silver lining.
Exactly.
Because it's there in pretty much everything. I think that's like a law of like nature.
Yes.
Right. Of creation. Right. There is the light, but there's also the dark.
Exactly.
Right. And when there just seems like there's a lot of dark, well, there's some light in there. So the symbology of the yin yang.
Exactly.
Symbol, right. There's dark in the light and there's light in the dark. Right. And it's a continuous cycle.
Circle,
it's a dance.
Yep.
So I think that's a good lesson too. Is like always look for that silver lining because there's always a way out. No matter how overwhelming and how bad it seems, and there's the only time that it fails is if you quit.
Exactly. And, we're talking to the entrepreneurs on that. And that's why, saying that, there's going to be times when they're with their business or whatever, and they're going to think negative. They're going to think, I just want to give it all up.
Right.
Instead of thinking like, you know what, I've came this far. Look at how far I've came from when I first started. Okay, so what can I do to better myself, or what do I need to do to get where I'm needing to be at, Right. So that's where I was getting at with that when I talked to my girl too. I'm like, look at how far you're doing so amazing. To my team, you guys are awesome, and look at your growth. I love seeing y'all's growth and so forth. But with any business, even if you're just, you're a business, even for the artists who are just leasing in a barbershop or a hair salon, they started somewhere. They started fresh out of school, learning how to do the services, starting to build their, so, you're going to want to give up sometimes. You're going to feel overwhelmed. It's going to be a bad week or a slow week, or you're going to have some rough, customers or something. Yeah. And you're going to be like, you know what? Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But you got to look at the positive. There's always that positive, like, okay, this venture into being my own business owner of whatever it's not going to be easy.
Right.
And I'm going to have to put in that work. And I'm going to have to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm going to be successful. You know,
Right.
What do I need to do?
What I need to do.
What I need to do, let's get it done.
Yeah. Put in the work.
Put in the work. Do I got to work 7 days a week from 8 to midnight? Well, let me work 7 days a week from 8 to midnight.
That's what it takes right now. That's what it takes.
That's what it takes. Exactly. And, you know, but you can make it happen. Don't give up.
Yeah. Man, I think that's a great way to exit out of here.
Yes, sir.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Make it happen.
But before we leave, tell everybody where they can find you, how they can find you on social media, where you're located at. Tell them the good stuff.
Awesome. Okay, I'm Santian Barber and Beauty Studio, located at 4400 North Big Springs, Suite C36. And we are in the same plaza as Rock and Rodeo and Hayachi and all of those good little shops in there. We've got a floral shop. There's a lot of shops in there that a lot of people don't know about, I feel like. But yeah, so Santian Barber and Beauty Studio, 4400 North Big Springs, Suite C36 is where you can find me. We have a Facebook and an Instagram. We're so busy we don't post much on it. I'm so sorry, you guys, but you can book through us through the Instagram, through the Facebook,
Okay, awesome.
And you can find us on Booksy also under Santian Barber and Beauty Studio.
And that's the handle, Santian Barber and Beauty Studio?
Santian Barber and Beauty Studio.
Awesome. Well, Casandra, it was amazing having you on. Great conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Angel.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.